We'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Oil prices, gasoline prices, a update on an LPD officer will tell you about that, and some summer travel plans. That and a whole lot more coming up today. Here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You were in your garden until well after dark last night.
Yes.
And you have a new garden helper.
Yes.
His name is Gemini.
Yes.
And you all got it all worked out. But I understand you're on the hunt for something in particular for your garden.
I am. Several different things.
Do you want to share a couple?
Yes, I'm looking for...
You have a big audience that you can appeal
Yes.
to.
I am looking for... garden deterrents. More basil, lemongrass, more onion sets,
What do
more
those deter?
marigolds, various things.
Okay, all right.
Things like that.
That stuff will keep me out of the garden.
If you're interested, my post is public. So
All right, so everybody can see that what you're on the lookout for to add to the garden, because you have more room than you thought you had.
I do. I did a major overhaul, and I have more room, and
I'm really impressed using AI for gardening. That's pretty cool to me. I came home from my meeting last night, and
just talking up the storm.
there you all were in the garden, hashing it all out, you and Gemini. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley, and the sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right. You could have added Gemini to your host of cohorts yesterday on the Cougar baseball broadcast. You could have. How would that have gone? I know you all were talking about statistics and who loves statistics more. Mm-hmm. Who loves statistics more than Gemini?
Not more than the three of us that were in that booth last night.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think Gemini, the accumulated knowledge of the three of you all, you think you all know more than Gemini?
Oh, without question. And see, I'm not a big Gemini user, so.
But you're a Chat GPT user, so it's a
Yeah.
similar technology. So are you smarter than Chat GPT is my question.
It depends on the topic.
Or common sense, knowing that, just because you know why it rains doesn't mean you have the sense to come in out of it.
Yeah,
I presume you do.
I guess that's an accurate statement.
I don't know that Chat GPT knows the difference. Sunny and warmer before rain returns. Speaking of rain, we will see sunny today with highs near 80. Showers for tomorrow morning, breezy and drier tomorrow afternoon. And then going to warm up by the weekend. If you're paying close attention, you might see that on the infographic from our partners at Wave, 9 to the 0 on Sunday and 9 to the 2 on Monday. So first 90-degree temperatures of the season are coming later on in the weekend, and we could tick above that by a degree or so here between the lakes. We will see mostly sunny today, a high of 81. Increasing clouds, showers late tonight, a low of 61. Morning showers, windy tomorrow afternoon, and then some afternoon sun, a high of 76 for your Wednesday. 71 will be the cool spot of the week on Thursday, with 71 as your high for Thursday, then 78 on Friday, 88 for your Saturday, and on up from there. Oil prices yesterday continue to rise as the war in Iran drags on. The stock market, though, is continuing to grow, so it's a little bit odd when you see those two things happen. One typically influences the other. The price of a barrel of crude went another 3%, so 104.21 after President Trump said that the ceasefire was on life support with Iran. So we'll see what happens with that going forward, and how that translates to gasoline prices. The president was asked yesterday that he's going to move to support and suspend the federal gasoline tax He can't do that on his own. He has to have the help of Congress. But when he signaled that was a good idea, Josh Hawley from Missouri introduced some legislation in order to suspend that for until time is necessary. Now, I thought it was interesting. I saw that some of the Democratic lawmakers in Washington at this idea, they kind of did the same thing in 2022 when the Biden administration was supportive of this idea, because the last time gasoline prices were this high was summer of 2022. And I remember in particular a place where I bought gasoline and went, wow, that's the most I've ever paid for gasoline, not in the state of Hawaii. And I remember I was halfway between here and Cincinnati. Sam, you know where the Love's at Sparta is?
Mm-hmm. I've stopped there many times.
Yeah, so that's a usual stop for us too. And so I remember though pumping that, going, "Wow, gasoline is expensive." Well, at that time, the Biden administration said, "Let's suspend the gasoline tax," and people on the other side of the aisle said, "Oh, well, that's that's using an ant gun to kill an elephant or whatever it might be." Well, so you've seen similar reaction to that in the last 24 hours from the other side. I just would encourage people to think you've got a Democratic governor in Kentucky who has already thought this was a practical idea, because he signed an executive order in Kentucky to suspend the gasoline tax for the state and to also implement price gouging restrictions to make sure that those savings get passed along. So why can't, when an idea is practical, no matter who comes up with it, why can't we just say, that's a practical idea, we should do it? And you should do it when it's not your idea. You should do it when it is your idea. So we'll see. John Thune in the Senate said he's not been a fan of the gas tax suspension, but he said, I have some colleagues out there who think it's a good idea, so we will hear them out. Whether it comes to fruition or not, I do not know. Now, another thing I have intentionally not mentioned it because I do not want to fan any flames, but the national media is doing a good enough job of fanning the flames. We all have some pretty deep scar tissue, and then in maybe ways, maybe the scar tissue isn't deep enough. Maybe we have even some semi-fresh wounds still from the COVID era. So that when you hear about a cruise ship that is, on the other side of the world, but there are Americans on it, and you start hearing about the hantavirus, then people immediately have PTSD and they have flashbacks. Oh no, here comes the next pandemic. And in fact, if you go through all the national newscasts, you go ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox to some extent, I'm sure, MS Now, like all of those. If you do jump cuts of their opening story, their tone is like the hantavirus is going to get us all. We're all dead. But that is not the case. This is not going to become a pandemic. It doesn't work the same way. It's just completely different. And by the way, cruise ships have viruses all the time. They have norovirus, the number one thing that you're going to get. And it's pretty common. This one is a little more unique. It's been rodent to rodent historically, but this one seems like it's a little bit different. But I'd say we have also learned a lot from the COVID era on what to do. So these people are being isolated and letting it run its course. And so just don't panic. I think the national news has grown weary. The Iran story isn't sexy anymore, so they need something else to get your attention and force you to watch and click. So we'll continue to keep an eye on hantavirus, but just go about your daily lives. You'll be just fine. Also, a headline today: the MD-11, which is the aircraft that was involved in the UPS crash in Louisville in November of last year, has returned to the skies, not wearing UPS badging. UPS retired their fleet of MD-11s, but the FAA grounded all MD-11s for a period of time, well, since November until now, and then they were satisfied with a Boeing fix. They developed a plan. Boeing developed a plan to replace a key spherical bearing and step up inspections on the parts that hold the engines to the wings. There were two other companies. FedEx has some MD-11s, and then one company that you probably never heard of, Western Global Airlines, is a freight company, I believe. Their MD-11s have returned to the sky. FedEx, for sure, has plans to retire those aircraft. We all get retired, whether we're aircraft or human bodies at some point in time, just a matter of whether it's sooner or later. But MD-11s are back in the sky, and I'd say they're going to get a whole lot of close scrutiny and keeping an eye on the performance of those MD-11s, considering the tragedy in Louisville back in November. This time yesterday, a Litchfield police officer airlifted. We told you about a Litchfield police officer airlifted after a major medical emergency had been released from the hospital. This happened Sunday afternoon about 5:30 in the 8900 block of Grayson Springs Road. An LPD officer responded to assist the sheriff's office and Wax and Clarkson Fire at the scene of an apparent suicide. After climbing a steep embankment, the officer collapsed, was unresponsive, and was rushed by the EMS to Clarkson Ballpark, airlifted to a Louisville hospital. He has since been released. Yesterday afternoon, is doing well, and we didn't name the officer yesterday, and we haven't named the officer in this story, but his wife posted publicly this morning, which I read, and in fact, I saw both of them at City Hall last night. I got to see Officer Brian and had a chance to share with him. Glad that he was still with us and that there are cheaper ways to get a helicopter ride. If he wants one, we can all chip in and get him one. And he laughed and chuckled with that. But anyway, good to see Brian yesterday, and good spirits recovery, and all is well. So no, they were also grateful for prayers and people who were helpful yesterday. The Kentucky Attorney General's office is looking to regulate prediction market platforms that circumvent gambling law. Kalshi or Polymarket are some of the platforms where users trade contracts on the outcome of future events. The platforms allow users to place wagers on game winners, point spreads, player statistics, bypassing the consumer protections and tax requirements that are mandated by state gambling laws. Kentucky has been setting rules for sports betting since well before the CFTC was created by Congress in 1974. We've been regulating sports wagering in Kentucky since 1906, and it's because of our pari-mutuel history. Kentuckians, or at least the Commonwealth of Kentucky, has had some form of gambling on sports for a long time. I mean, 120 years compared to where it is out in the open new in other states. So we've had to address or figure some of the things out. But you'll also notice at the same time, Kentucky was very slow to warm up to broad sports wagering because we were trying to protect the pari-mutuel industry, which then props up the equine industry. It props up the sales industry and the breeding, the barns, the housing, the horsing. It's all stems from the ability to have the pari-mutuel racing. There are very few people that just want to show up just to watch horses run, right? There's got to be something added to it. Well, these poly markets are the Wild West of wagering, and sports wagering is finding its way to these poly markets, when really what is likely to happen, instead of calling it sports wagering, it's just going to end up being wagering in general. We're already doing it a little bit on prop bets. You're saying that's not really, the color of the Gatorade at the Super Bowl, is that really a sports bet? I mean, it happens during a game, but you could wager or predict or guess or double down on any of those things that you are going to happen, you think could happen. Now, Congress has recently passed rules, or is going to pass a law that says that they nor members of their staff are allowed to participate in poly markets, because they have information way before the rest of us do, even before the other markets do, that they can go out and say, well, I think that this news is going to break tomorrow, and I'll wager on that fact. We've seen it with the capture of Maduro by a U.S. service member. And so Russ Coleman is trying to figure out, he said, there's not a dollar's worth of difference between prediction market sports contracts and sports betting, and Kentucky has the jurisdiction and the responsibility to set the rules of the road. Along with nearly every other AG in the country, we're asking the federal government to recognize that states like Kentucky are well positioned to protect our people, just like we have been doing for over a century. So this sports wagering thing, it's relatively new out in the open, still just 3 years or something like that old. They will continue, I presume, to nip and tuck the regulations to get it dialed in to where, eliminate as many of the harms as possible while capitalizing on as many of the good things possible that come out of it for entertainment purposes or money-making purposes, or however you choose to look at it. Read this morning that the I-65 rest area over in Hart County has been named the best maintained rest area, and it's earning the top honor for the second time. They're going to have an award ceremony tomorrow over at that rest area. So congratulations them. Got news yesterday. I saw a little video of the newest UK signee, Frank or Frank. It's
Frank.
FR. We're just going with Frank.
Well, that's how you say it.
Okay. Well, it has a
Yeah,
C in it.
UK sent out a press release and said Frank.
Did Deb Moore send that out? And she said, "You say Frank."
Yeah, I don't remember if it was Deb or her assistant that sent it out, but it had the pronunciation in there.
And
It was Frank.
Kepnong.
Kepnang or Kepnong. I'll have to
okay.
let me pull up her press release to get it right.
He is a 6'11" center. He played 4 seasons at Washington. Was a teammate of recent UK signee Zoom Diallo. He averaged 6.2 points and 6.3 rebounds for the Huskies last season.
Kepnong.
Started 25 games. Kepnong. I heard Drew Franklin say it last night, and he thought, or yesterday, and had put the emphasis on Nong instead of Nang. But he's got an interesting story. He came to basketball late in life. He's huge. He's a bruiser, but he grew up a tennis player. And that's what his mom worked at a sugar factory. It was just them. And that he said the game found him. He said, I was just going to the store to get some food, and the head coach of the Junior Basketball League of Cameroon asked him if he'd ever played basketball. He said that was a life-changing moment. So he is not he's more of, I guess, an enforcer. He's not overly athletic. He dribbles the ball kind of interesting, but the one dunk that got called a charge that I saw a highlight of yesterday, I mean, he's a physical specimen without a doubt.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the chance to watch much of him, but
No, it's because you've been busy. You had it was a very pleasant evening at Don Lee Field yesterday. The weather was just almost just dialed in as much as it could be, and
yeah, I was surprised you didn't. You were there a little earlier. I was surprised you didn't just go find yourself a seat and enjoy the evening.
well, I would have, but I had to get a gavel in my hand. Supervise the planning commission meeting last night. Yeah, I caught a little bit of the action on our coverage. How'd the game turn out last night?
It was a wild ending. Grayson won on a walk-off, 3-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kind of a weird play. Jake Bratcher laid down a bunt. Muhlenberg threw it up the line. Spencer Langdon scored the first run, and Zach Snyder, grandson of Miss Shirley, scored the game-winning run on a head-first slide. So I know Miss Shirley was. I didn't get to talk to her afterwards, but I've seen some of her social media posts. Something tells me she's just a smidge proud, just a smidge,
Love
right?
her.
I can't imagine that would be the case. So yeah, congratulations to her, and congratulations to the Cougars on the win. Did you all settle any scores in the press box or anything? Any type of loser leave town match or anything like that?
I didn't know we had to.
I just you never know what you all are going to get into, especially in a baseball game format. There's just a lot that can develop during the in between the pitches and the swings, etc. So, I mean the section that I heard, everybody was getting along pretty well. I just didn't know if one of you all turned on the other one or anything like that.
No, I mean, we did have a moment late when a certain tall Dodgers fan decided to come in with his Dodgers hat on at the end of the game, and he felt like he had to enter his baseball thoughts in. But Briley, we wanted to make sure he's quiet. He's a Yankees fan. We were like, we don't want to hear from you.
So I know who my favorite was yesterday. But did the tallest banker did he not read the room that we were full up? We didn't.
It was a jam packed. No, he came in after the game was over to celebrate a Cougar victory.
All right, well then that's perfectly okay. But leave your Dodgers gear at home. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Going to talk about summer travel coming up. You're on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
Experience matters. And Tanya Kessinger for County Clerk in Grayson County has it in abundance. With 26 years of proven service, Tanya is your trusted leader, bringing qualified leadership and honest administration to our community. From office manager to chief finance officer, chief election officer, and now county clerk, she's done it all. Her experience means she understands the job from day one, committed to serving Grayson County families with integrity. Tanya is grateful for the trust placed in her by Judge Executive Henderson and former County Clerk Charlotte Willis to be appointed as County Clerk. She is grateful for the community's trust and ready to keep moving forward. Vote for experience. Vote for commitment. She's committed to doing the job and already on the job. Vote Tanya Kessinger for County Clerk. Paid for by Tanya Kessinger. And don't forget to vote early or on Election Day.
It takes courage to accept the need for a little help. What if help doesn't mean losing independence? At Beehive Homes of Grayson County, you get 24-hour assistance, but maintain freedom. Bring your car, come and go, and welcome visitors. You'll find organized activities that foster community. It's the gold standard of assisted living, the next best place to home. Discover peace of mind without hidden fees. Call today to arrange a tour. Beehive Homes of Grayson County, where home feels like home.
Looking for a place to connect and make a difference? At the Moose Lodge, you'll be stepping into a place where children find hope and seniors find care. Experience the fun of gaming and drinks while socializing with other members in our licensed lounge. We are inviting qualified guests to visit and consider membership. Be part of something meaningful. The Grayson County Moose Lodge is at 289 Alex Drive in Falls of Rough, where community meets connection. Stop by or follow us on Facebook for more information.
Midway Pharmacy is your trusted local partner in health and wellness, offering free delivery so you never have to worry about picking up your medications. The friendly staff knows you by name and is always ready to assist you. Living and raising our families in the same community, they understand your needs. With a wide range of services and personalized care, Midway Pharmacy is here to make your life easier and healthier. Visit or call any countywide location today of Midway Pharmacy.
Nintendo is hiking the price of its latest console. Details from Lisa Carton.
The video game giant announced Friday that its Switch 2 will now sell for around $500 in the U.S. That's about $50 more than the current price. The company also forecasts a decline in sales of the system within its next fiscal year. Nintendo is pointing at the rising cost of memory chips and tariffs as reasons for the financial impact.
During the ongoing federal trial in Oakland, a former OpenAI employee said the company is starting to focus more on the product and less on safety. It comes as Elon Musk is suing OpenAI, claiming they reversed their commitment to the common good. OpenAI's lawyers say that Musk is just bitter because he left the company and failed to take it over. And Mozilla says they've tested out Anthropic's Mythos and found it to be incredibly advanced. They say the AI system was able to detect some dangerous bugs that had sat dormant for 10 years. Mozilla Firefox, one of a handful of private and government entities that are allowed to test out Mythos. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is International Nurses Day. It is Odometer Day. It is Nutty Fudge Day.
That sounds good.
And it's, you prefer fudge with nuts or without?
Is that the only fudge the professor can eat?
Although,
No, I like it both. I like it both. It depends. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, but the Nutty Professor is a big fudge maker.
Oh yeah, he is.
Really?
And historically, I think his does not have nuts,
No,
if I
doesn't.
recall correctly.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, that is like he makes a very large quantity for our large Buckles Christmas gathering, and we all look forward to it.
If he's just preparing it for himself, maybe nuts go into the equation.
Maybe.
But if it's for gifts, so that
Yeah.
nut allergies might be part of the
Yeah,
equation,
because
he
we have a
probably
couple
is.
nut allergy.
Probably is careful. But yeah, the Nutty Professor
I've yet to
primarily.
have any of the Nutty Professor's fudge.
Well, I mean, maybe you can land yourself an invitation to the Big Buckles Christmas.
Oh yeah.
That's about the way that that's about the only way you're going to qualify to get it.
Well,
I
luckily,
know.
you know, I at least know the vicinity of the area that he lives in.
Yeah.
I could just start knocking on homes and up on the east side of Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, just march down Alpine Terrace and you can
Well,
you get to where
I
you
mean,
need
at
to go.
this rate in the county, Sam, I mean, you're like just 2 steps away from being invited to multiple people's large
Everybody's Christmas. Everybody's
Something
Christmas.
tells me my mother probably wouldn't appreciate me going to somebody else's Christmas.
Well, we don't have ours on Christmas.
Yeah, they don't have to be at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, my
Christmas
parents
just
know
went-
they started. I don't know if they're going to continue their tradition of just going on a cruise on Christmas and letting us figure it out for themselves. That's what they did last year.
Listen,
Smart
I can tell you a
parents.
story. I can tell you a little
Smart
secret about that. When you do something like that, you tend to like it a whole bunch and you want to do it more. That's a kind of a neat thing.
I think probably getting away from us was probably the biggest win.
We a few years ago with the Thomases, we went on a cruise we were going on New Year's Eve, and it was my favorite New Year's Eve ever.
Yeah.
And the next New Year's Eve, when we didn't go on a cruise, I felt like I was being punished. So it's kind of like, hey,
I
wait a
will
minute.
tell you, your parents, because you all are older, it does make a difference. When you have younger children, it is harder to find that balance. But with you all being grown, it's much
Yeah, because
easier.
last year I spent my Christmas morning taking them to the airport. I don't think it was too early of a flight, but I drove them to the airport, dropped them off, and that was it.
Yeah.
It is also Limerick Day, and speaking of the nutty professor, he knows lots of limericks. Unfortunately, most of them involve the community of Nantucket. So, what there are other Nantucket limericks that don't involve profanity. So I looked it up online actually.
Well, I'll start today.
You're going to get a message later today.
Probably. Worth it. So, things are super expensive right now, but there are things that people are saying it is still worth it. The price is still worth it from a quality of life standpoint. So the question was, what's a luxury that actually feels worth the money once you experience it? Sometimes you get that immediate buyer's remorse. You go, oh, why did I waste the money on this? It really doesn't help me that much. One of the most popular things that were offered was expensive bedding, mattresses, pillows, sheets. Yes. Until you've done it, you don't know. A lot of your life, you just sleep on what your parents give you and you just get used to it, and that's what it is. But if you ever get into a situation where you make that a priority, when you consider you spend a third of your life on this device, it makes a big difference. You will sleep better.
Your mileage may vary.
Well, sure. Some of you can just sleep anywhere. But some of you also wake up sore and go,
No, I mean, some of you may spend, and no, not you, may spend more time in the bed than that.
oh, I see. Maybe more than a third of your life. Okay. Well, I was just doing 24 divided by 3.
I'm on the high side.
Work 8, sleep 8, do whatever else with your other 8 that you choose to do. Paying for moving services and movers. It's worth it.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's not worth it.
It is worth it. No, it's all. These are worth it. These are worth it luxuries.
I have a friend that is going to be making a big move in the next month or so, and he was not in talking with us earlier this week, and we were like, no, is he expecting us to to do all of this?
yeah.
We're like, I think, we might still be young, but I think we're reaching the age where it's like, a case of
Hire
apple
someone.
juice. A case of apple juice isn't going to take it as far as it used to.
Well, the other thing is that the age of the person being moved is a huge indicator because we're just all accumulators of things. So it takes a lot more to move us than it will take to move someone who's 23, just because they just haven't lived enough life to accumulate a bunch of stuff. For us, I hate moving. Like it was, and I'm not moving again.
Nor am I.
But when we did move, it was one, necessary, but two, we boxed it all up, and we made a million small trips. But the big stuff, they're equipped, right? They've got the straps. They do it all the time. So the amount of money you think, well, that's money I could have saved. The number of things you're going to damage just moving them, either scuffing up walls of your place you're leaving or going, or tripping and falling or whatever, is just well worth. It's extremely well
So
worth
worth
it.
it.
If you've never done it, you don't know. But once you do it, you go, oh, well, I won't do it the old way again.
Well, and just you can attack on the time. They will even disassemble and assemble.
That's right.
Your bed. I mean, hello.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do it all if
nice.
you want them to. But for us, it was just a matter of we need help.
We just need to get
and
it
the other
there.
thing was, too, is to not have to get others involved. Ask us. It's like, I'm
Right.
not going to ask you to help us move because I don't want to be asked to move.
Well, and so we labeled all the boxes. They put it in the correct rooms. I mean,
The kids are
Do
different.
it.
I mean, as far as helping move, if the kids need help
Yeah,
moving,
well,
then we'll
some of them
do
do.
that.
My little brother moved into an apartment in Bowling Green last summer, and of course he picked, like July the 1st too. It's like
And
yes,
the fifth
that's great.
floor.
Second floor.
how
and
old is he again?
how old is he? He's 26. I had to think about that. Luckily, he was born in 2000, so I just had to look down and remember what year it was because that's an easy
Okay.
one for me to remember
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
But carrying it up to I mean, he had some of that. I mean, some of that furniture is the furniture that my parents have handed down, and luckily, furniture has gotten lighter throughout the years.
Yes.
But he had one piece of equipment that I think we both got to a point where it's like, do you really need this?
Abandoned.
A pivot
yeah.
was not working.
Abandoned
And
shit.
I think we were like, you know what, when you're moving out, you've got a balcony. It's just going to go out over the balcony.
Here's one, and this is a garage for my car. There are a lot of people that live without a garage. We get that. They park on the street or whatever it might be. But it amazes me the people who will prioritize junk in their garage that they're not going to use and then they park their car outside. I mean, car is an expensive asset, right? And the more that it sits outside, the more it depreciates the faster. It's discoloration, et cetera, the finish, but on and on and on. If you don't have the luxury of parking in a garage, well, then obviously you can't. But I just don't know why you would be better off to pay for a small storage unit monthly and protect your car for longer. Like you will come out money ahead because of the way that your car is deteriorating because it stays outside all the time. When given the choice between that or a bunch of cardboard boxes that you think, well, I might use this stuff sometime,
I think it's just poor arrangement.
well, maybe. But park your stuff outside. Right? Park your
Buy shed.
garbage outside or
Buy
your stuff. But yeah, you can also buy a shed. It's pretty easily
she
done.
shed?
A she shed or house cleaner, save time, energy, and hassle for partners by clarifying who's doing what. They also do a better job. Spa and or massages. So, a lot of people do that as a treat, but a lot of people do it as routine therapy, like on a weekly basis. Is it worth it? You did that at one point
I
in time.
did it, and I will tell you, I seriously looked into this morning a 30 upper body because I have been hurting for so long now that yes, I do believe when I book this, it's going to be worth it.
Good. And
tired of hurting.
fast passes at theme parks. Now they've gotten more expensive as they've gone, but like the Lightning Lane at Disney, it's a huge time saver. You can, but you pay for it. So some of those I'm like, yeah, that's well worth. Most of those I'm well worth it. Some of those I'm like, unsure. 4 in 10 Americans are skipping summer trips entirely this year, with affordability being the primary concern. A survey of 5,000 Americans revealed 37% won't travel this summer. 52% are citing inability to afford the costs. Everything getting more, everything more expensive. We did a little driving trip on spring break. We went out to Asheville, out to the Biltmore, and we had the route that we took. We went down through Monroe County, down into Tennessee, Salina, Tennessee, and got on 40 and went out. And if you go 40 between Nashville and Asheville, you get 2 Buc-ee's. And if you actually went from Smiths Grove up the Parkway, down to Salina, Tennessee, onto 40 and out to Asheville, you'd get 3 Buc-ee's because you'd have Smiths Grove. There's one west of Knoxville, and there's one at Sevierville. Well, we chose the Sevierville option. So we could have, but it's like there's not a Buc-ee's for 500 miles around here. There's about to be Buc-ee's in 6 more states. They are going to Goodyear, Arizona, Benton, Arkansas. I bet that store will be the first to close. Nobody wants to go to Arkansas anyway.
That's the evil empire territory.
Yes, I know. That's one of the reasons I
That's
don't like
their
Arkansas.
home, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's where they're founded.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the very first one was there. Wisconsin, Kansas, and Louisiana are expected in 2027. And then they are expanding to North Carolina in 2028. It would be really funny if they put one like between Sevierville and Asheville, or you just have them on a line. They put one in Memphis, put one between Memphis and Nashville, and it'd be like Hucks in Kentucky. Like the number of Hucks that have sprung up over the last few
fan of
years
Hucks.
is like they're everywhere.
Will there ever be a day where they'll do it down in the Beaver Dam truck stop? They'll take
I
over
hope so.
from Hucks and
From Hucks to Bucks.
Oh no, I don't hope that. I need it to stay Hucks. I like it. I really like that particular Hucks.
You do?
I do.
Listen, that place down there has always been an oasis in my life.
I love it.
You know, I've always told the story that on Sunday evenings after church, if we ever, as you know, kids in the back of the car, if we turned right out of the parking lot at church, we were going to Jerry's down the Parkway. If we turned left, we were going home to eat dinner. Like that was just the telltale sign. Those were, and then, you know, running sports all those years and running through the third region and all that, like that thing springs up. It's like an oasis. It's like, and then for a while they were about the nearest place to have the meats around here. So yeah, it's been a legendary place down there.
yeah, no more there. I don't think.
Yep. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. More on the way here on In the Know.
When you consider Buck Meredith for Grayson County Sheriff, the first thing you'll notice is his dedication. Buck won't just talk about his 18 years of law enforcement experience. He'll listen to your concerns, prioritize retaining deputies and full staff, plus appoint a detective to solve crimes like sexual assault and theft. He's committed to eliminating drug trafficking and maintaining community connections. You and Buck Meredith. The order matters, and you always come first.
I'm Buck Meredith. A vote for me is a vote for service and a better Grayson County.
Paid for by Buck Meredith.
Heard the story of your tattoo? That late night dare with friends seemed brilliant, right? But now, it's not so funny during board meetings or at church.
Time to erase that past with Pure Aesthetics and Wellness. Our Q-Switch treatment wipes away embarrassing ink in just 6 to 12 sessions. Say goodbye to regrets and hello to fresh skin. Visit us on West White Oak, Litchfield, or find us on Facebook to make an appointment.
The regret-free zone starts here.
You know, I heard that some people think a staycation is adventurous.
Staycation? That's just a fancy word for staying home.
Exactly. Why not set sail with your global getaway?
You mean like a cruise?
Yes. With Royal Caribbean, you can have weddings, honeymoons, even vow renewals at sea.
And no seasickness from staying on the couch.
Your global getaway. Adventure awaits on every wave. Connect on socials at Your Global Getaway or yourglobalgetaway.com and start planning today.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable. ECTC's Litchfield campus is now registering for classes that begin June 1st. Call 27025-1540 or visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, college for the real world.
If you want to make the most of your vacation, there's no better place than the Bluegrass State. Kentucky's 44 state parks offer abundant places to play and diverse accommodations to stay. Take a hike, float your boat, or bike the trails. Pitch a tent under the stars or settle into a lakefront lodge. Tee up for 18 holes. Then enjoy a signature meal. Plan your trip at parks.ky.gov.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
K105, Weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team, is brought to you by Your Global Getaway. Start planning your adventure now at yourglobalgetaway.com.
We'll see
Plenty of sunshine today with highs near 80 degrees. For this evening, clouds increase before rain moves in Wednesday morning. We'll see temperatures falling down into the upper 50s and low 60s by tomorrow morning. As that rain takes over, the rain moves out by your Wednesday afternoon. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
Did you know only 23 countries still have operational telegram services, and the United States is among them? Can you imagine receiving a telegram? Can you imagine needing to send a telegram?
I don't even know if I really fully understand a telegram, so I don't.
I always thought it was
what to do.
I always thought it was really awesome in the movies. You know, before the telephone, before the all the modern conveniences we have. A person would be sitting in a restaurant. You know, they'd be having dinner, and then somebody'd walk up and say, "Telegram for," and he'd open it up and he'd read it, and these short messages. They charged by the character. Like, the longer the message, the more that it costs. So it was brief. So they would say, da-da-da-da-da, stop, da-da-da-da-da, stop, da-da-da-da-da, stop. And so that's the way, military families used to get notified of deaths. But there are so many. Why would you need to send a telegram today that didn't involve like wiring money? Because, you still do Western Union, and Western Union was the telegram company. So you do wire transfers, but telegrams? What instance would you need to send a telegram today?
Maybe a singing telegram.
Ooh, Candygram for Mongo. That's in Blazing Saddles. I like it. Sam, the way that we Star Wars fans have captured May the 4th and 5th and tried to make them their own cute holiday, have Simpsons fans done something similar with Homer Simpson's birthday? Because in the prep service today, all of the photos were Simpsons depictions.
Yeah, see, I've got it all right here.
So, what, you pulled all of those?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you asked me to do every day.
Oh, okay. So, those are the ones that we just. Okay, gotcha. All
These
right.
are the ones that you're getting ready to talk about.
I was.
I
like,
guess
I thought that-
you pick not to choose to talk about these, but this here's your. I guess here's your tease for what's getting ready to come. You've got this, you've got this, and you've got this. What could it be?
Yeah, interesting. So, well, do you know why the prep service did all Simpsons things just because of Homer Simpson's 70th birthday?
I guess. I mean, that's a milestone.
I didn't know what Homer's job is. You know what Homer's job is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he works at the
He's a safety engineer at the nuclear plant.
Yeah, and this said safety inspector, which is, even more funny.
Yeah.
It's safety inspector. That's funny. So I don't know that much about it, but when I saw that today, I was like, what's up with the Simpsons? So Homer Simpson 70 today. NBC has greenlit a Wordle game show, and it's going to be hosted by Savannah Guthrie. So I thought it's an interesting choice for her to be taking on new projects right now, considering it's admirable that she's back at work and functioning in a, she seems to be kind of carrying on as normal as one can. So I give her a whole lot of credit, but she's going to pick up the Wordle hosting duties. That's still amazing. That whole Nancy Guthrie thing. I still marvel at just no information on that. Peacock has officially greenlit a Fast and Furious television series. So the Vin Diesel announced that at the NBC Universal's upfront presentation yesterday. So it'll be coming to Peacock, Fast and Furious, to the small screen. Jimmy Kimmel, they were all on the who's who of the late night comedy world were on Colbert last night. You had Seth Meyers, you had John Oliver, you had Kimmel, of course, you had Colbert, Fallon. I don't know if I mentioned him. I didn't see the show because I don't watch Colbert's show, but he said that I did see the clip this morning where he said the designated survivor was Jon Stewart. He was like the only one that wasn't there, so they had to, because they were all in the same room. Kimmel has decided, in the same way that he did when Letterman retired with his last show, Kimmel will deliberately air a rerun in deference and homage to Stephen Colbert's final night, which is next week. So the Colbert Show comes to the end of the road. And then I read this morning where Riley Green will be joining The Voice as a coach. It'll be Adam Levine, Kelly Clarkson, and Riley Green is being added to the list, which kind of makes sense because they just killed him off on Marshalls this week. He was on 5 episodes of Marshalls this season.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I gave you a couple of extra days. I gave you 48 hours to see it.
Well, I wasn't going to watch anyways, but now I'm definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Riley bit the dust. They didn't have room for another primary character in that show. So. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got MB's Point to Ponder, Pearl of Wisdom, and Chart Toppers ahead here on In the Know.
Weddings aren't for the faint of heart. The ceremony may be beautiful, but planning a wedding can ruin a marriage before it even gets started. Endless details and mounting expenses can frustrate and divide a couple. In one national survey, a majority of couples admitted to arguing in some way about their wedding plans. You probably won't be surprised that money topped the list of disagreements, in particular, the cost of the wedding dress and flower arrangements. Mothers-in-law were a common source of disagreement too, as were decisions about seating charts and styles of wedding cakes. And it's not only conflicted couples who are struggling to plan their wedding. Stress can also take its toll on any relationship when a lot of decisions have to be made and a lot of money is involved. If you and your fiancé are up to your eyeballs in planning your wedding, remember 2 things. 1, don't think of this as your wedding. Think of it as our wedding. Your ultimate goal should be for both of you to have a wedding that you love. Second, as memorable as you hope your wedding will be, remember that it's only the first day of your new journey together. Don't get your marriage off to a rocky start by allowing your wedding to become more important than your relationship. If you'll keep the things in focus, your wedding will catapult you to a lifetime of happiness together. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
Hi, my name's Neil. I have some advice for you if you've been trying to break free from credit card debt. You can start by doing what I did. Get your bills together and call Trinity Debt Management. Trinity is dedicated to helping people like me become debt-free. When I called, my first experience was a feeling of relief. My counselor was kind, and best of all, she didn't judge me. In just a few minutes, she helped me figure out a plan that consolidated all my bills into one lower monthly payment. This substantially reduced my high interest rates and put me on the road to success. In the end, I saved thousands in interest, and today, my credit card debt is a thing of the past.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Neil. Take it from someone who's been there. Call Trinity and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Global superstar Ed Sheeran, live in Nashville. Ed Sheeran, Loop Tour North America 2026. See him performing for one incredible night only. Live at Nissan Stadium, Saturday, June 20th, 2026. Get tickets now at SeatGeek.com. The brand new album Play is available everywhere now. Ed Sheeran. Loop Tour North America 2026. Live at Nissan Stadium, Saturday, June 20th, 2026. For more, visit EdSheeran.com. Promoted by Messina Touring Group.
At the Grayson County Farmers Market, the community comes together, bursting with farm fresh produce, meats, home-baked goods, and much, much more. Savor the taste of Kentucky Proud Produce and know you're supporting local families. Join us Wednesdays and Saturdays, rain or shine, from 8 to noon or until the last morsel is gone, now through October 23rd at the Extension Office parking lot on Quarry Road. We honor WIC and senior vouchers because fresh, wholesome food is for everyone. See you at the Farmers Market.
MB's point to ponder for today. If you had to teach a class on one thing at a moment's notice, what would you teach? If you had to teach a class on one thing at a moment's notice, what would you teach? Would yours be gardening?
No.
No, it wouldn't be gardening?
Broadcasting.
I wondered about that. Which one? Oh, and specifically, we have to, for us, if you're going to choose your career, I think you have to be something specific. So I think Sam probably teaches a course fairly often at Switcher Studio.
I mean, I guess an old version of Meditech.
An old version, since that's what you used to teach.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
Or some type of, I could manage my way through most basic IT trainings pretty well.
I don't know. I thought something like public speaking, but I never had a public speaking course. I just learned how to do it and learned how to do it in my style. I don't do it particularly well.
Well, I mean, I had several. So.
I mean, I'm not like a classically trained public speaker where I go.
You're not Barry.
No, I'm certainly not. And my diction is poor sometimes, and I sometimes mumble, and my modulation varies a lot. But it's if you don't like it, you were gone a long time ago.
That's true.
Not worried too much about it.
That's very true.
Did you choose, Sam? Did you choose one, or did you just take my nomination and say okay?
I said broadcasting right off the bat.
All right, that's kind of broad. Chopped Castaways on Food Network series premiere today. The Mystery of Richard Simmons, a Diane Sawyer special, is on ABC. Something happened to him recently, like in the last few days. He was a big topic of conversation on the Rick Burgess show yesterday, which they have a history with him. So, I mean, he's vanished. He's been out of the public eye for a long time.
I thought he went on in. Yeah, he
Did
died.
He?
Yeah, he died 2
when
years
was
ago.
that? 2 years ago?
July of 24.
July of 24. Did it say the exact date?
13.
July 13. Huh. I wonder how I completely and totally missed that. That's one I would have filed away. Like no more candy stripe shorts. Too bad. NCIS season 23 finale is on CBS. NCIS Sydney, the season 3 finale. The NHL playoffs, Sabres at Canadiens, Golden Knights at Ducks.
You talked about it.
I did.
Yeah, on the show. I just searched it in the email, and it was on our report. Because you sent me an email of the story from it on the 15th of July.
I love email archives. They're so helpful.
I was just trying to remember if we did talk about it or not, but apparently we did.
On the NBA, our audience might find it hard to believe, but I do not remember everything we've ever talked about on the show. I know that's hard to believe.
Hardly anything.
Let's see. Lost track of.
I don't remember what you talked about last segment.
Right.
About 3,410 shows. And then 5 days from now, 15 years old. Show turns 15 in 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. NBA playoffs tonight. Timberwolves at Spurs. The Lakers got dispatched from got run out of the postseason yesterday. That means LeBron's season is over. Today's highlight in history, this date in 2008, a devastating 7.9 magnitude earthquake in China's Sichuan province left more than 87,000 people dead or missing. Birthdays today, Steve Winwood is 78. Roll with it, baby. Bruce Boxleitner is 76. Billy Squire, 76. Kix Brooks, 71. Ving Rhames, we have the meat, is 67. Emilio Estevez is 64. Stephen Baldwin is 60. Tony Hawk, 58. Kim Fields is 57. Little Tootie is 57 today. Jason Biggs is 48. Rami Malek is 45. Gone but not forgotten. Florence Nightingale was born in 1820. Katharine Hepburn in 1907. Yogi Berra in 1925. Burt Bacharach in 1928. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Tom Snyder in 1936. George Carlin in 1937. Chart toppers. Check out this choreography. The Silvers, Boogie Fever, #1 in 76.
In honor of George Carlin, do we have to do the 7 Dirty Words of Radio now?
You can do them on. You can do them. I forgot that he was also in Prince of Tides, and he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I didn't know that. Speaking of movies from the 80s, from Breakfast Club, Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, #1 in 85. Don't you? Okay, let's go to 94, Enigma, Return to Innocence. That song was really
strange,
enigmatic. Rock Your Body, Justin Timberlake in 03. All right, let's go. We got two more I want to try to get to. Oh, this is a good one. This is Flo Rida and Sia, Wild Ones. Kind of a cool video from the Bahamas, skydiving in the Bahamas. Well, other various places too. We were in Dubai just then. And, 2 years ago today? No, 5 years ago today. Levitating, Dua Lipa. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. Be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield. The Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105.